Today we continue with our class Laws of Yom Tov. And we start with Sefer Chofetz Chaim. And today a big topic is the same, to us for the victim's benefit. And today's topic is rights of the victim. We have seen in days 63 through 66, like in past days basically, today is 67, that even when it is clear to someone that one person has a wrong another financially, he may not attempt to effect the justice outside the confines of Halachah. This applies not only to witnesses, but also to the victim itself. So if it's not possible for him to prove his case according to Halachah, so he just must let it go, whether it's witness or whether it's the victim. Meaning you talk to Rabbi and see what can be done. It's nothing, okay, you do nothing. If one feels that he has fallen victim to another person's dishonesty, and after verifying the facts, concludes that he has a valid claim against that person, he must not publicly speak against that person for the sake of attaining restitution. Rather, he should confront the individual privately and, if necessary, consult the Rav. If possible, the name of the accused should not be mentioned. Okay, so let's do this piece again and we're going to explain. If one feels that he has fallen victim of another person's dishonesty, and after verifying the fact, concludes that he has a valid claim against that person. So somebody cheated that person. So maybe it's like even you verify that whatever the other person did to you was not proper. You can always confront him and ask him. Maybe he made a mistake. People make mistakes, right? It's possible. He must not publicly speak against that person for the sake of attaining the restitution. Rather, he should confront the individual privately and, right, if necessary, consult the Rav. Okay, so I try always privately because people do not want this public embarrassment, of course. If possible, the name of accused should not be mentioned. Should not be mentioned. Very interesting. The witness. So I mean, to a Rav or to somebody. What does it make? What difference does it make? The name of this person, perpetrator, right? What is going to be? Unless it's like famous person that did it many times before, yeah, maybe. But otherwise, it does not make any difference. The witnesses may not divulge to the victim's identity of the perpetrator, to the victim, the identity of perpetrator, if the victim could not expect to employ halachically acceptable tactics to retrieve his money. So even though there were two witnesses, a witness, apologies. No, it says a witness. So meaning one witness cannot divulge to the victim the identity of perpetrator because it's of no avail. It's not going to help. Okay, so we stop here. So as we said before, in court we need only two witnesses. We continue with Laws of Yom Tov. 1 second. We're in chapter number 2, and our topic, which Melachos are permitted for the sake of Ocheil Nefesh. So Ocheil Nefesh, just to remind you, the verse states is what? 1 second, what was the verse? No work may be done to them except for what must be eaten for any purpose alone. It may be done for you. Okay. So we need to understand what exactly the needs of every person. We learn in chapter 1 that the Torah explicitly permits the performance of Melachos on Yom Tov for the sake of Ocheil Nefesh, preparing food for people. Okay. preparing food for people. Nevertheless, the Gemara states that in Tractate Beezrat that Melachos, Sad, trapping, and Kotzeir, reaping, are forbidden on Yom Tov, even though the Melachas are normally done for the purpose of obtaining food. Thus, we learn that the allowance of Melacha for the sake of Ocheil Nefesh is not absolute rule, but applies in limited circumstances. However, we must explore why these specific melachas are forbidden, and establish the criteria for determining what types of activities are forbidden and what types are permitted. So, especially if people have pets, right? So let's see the Rishonim. Okay, let's go to the beginning. We explain and then continue. So one more time, we learn in chapter 1 that the Torah expressly permits performance of Melachah of Yom Tov for the sake of Ocheil Nefesh, preparing food for people. So from this we can derive not for animals. Nevertheless, the Gemara states in Tractate Beezrat that Melachah of trapping and reaping are forbidden on Yom Tov. So what is trapping? Trap any animal. So, but they say that domesticated animals are considered to be always trapped. So your chicken or whatever, your cow, for example, if they want to do shchita on the cow, there is no problem. It's not like you're trapping that, even though it's like walking outside or like chicken, it's always trapped. It's always in your reach because they're very familiar with you. Trapping means some like wild animal or wild animal. Okay. And reaping. So reaping meaning disconnected from the source of growth, whether it be on a tree or from the ground, doesn't matter. So those two are forbidden, even though in order if you want to eat meat, right? So you have to in some cases you have to trap, and in order to eat, let's say, fresh vegetables, you want to do your garden salad, so you would go and get your tomatoes and from the vine and your cucumbers, right? But we cannot do that. And then forbidden on Yom Tov, even though the melacha are normally done for the purpose of obtaining food. So not everything that for obtaining food is permitted. Okay. Thus we learn that allowance of melacha. Thus we learn that allowance of melacha for the sake of healthy food is not absolute rule, but applies to limited circumstances. Okay. So with cooking is easier, but those like in preparatory states, right? Even though you can do shchita and you do salting, you can do all of these other things, there is no problem, right? However, we must explore why the specific melachas are forbidden and establish criteria for determining that types of the activity are forbidden and what types are permitted, right? So even with this preparation for food for people, we need to understand what is allowed and what is not allowed. As we learned before, when you have eggs, right, that were already laid by chicken, let's say, right? So they're parv. So you can eat them with meat. You can do omelet like with milk. There is no problem, right? But if you found these eggs, we slaughter a chicken, and you found the eggs inside of the chicken, right? Whether they're with the shell or without the shell, right? That doesn't matter. So they consider to be meat. So you're not allowed to eat with milk, right? So right, and you must salt these eggs to extract the blood. It's very interesting. So as we said, it depends on situations. The Rishonim offer two basic explanations on this matter. These two approaches result in a different sets of criteria as to when the rule of Ocheil Nefesh applies. The approaches reflect of the view of Rashi and Rambam and Rosh and Ran. Okay. So Rashi and Rambam, Rosh and Ran. Okay. Let us examine each view in details. So view number 1, meaning Rashi and Rambam. Rashi and Rambam explain that it is forbidden to perform food preparatory melach on Yom Tov if one could have achieved the same result by doing melacha before the Yom Tov. Since there is no qualitative difference between the animal that is trapped before the Yom Tov and the one that is trapped on Yom Tov, nor between the grain that harvested before Yom Tov and that is harvested on Yom Tov, trapping and reaping are forbidden on Yom Tov. On the other hand, melachas such as slaughtering, shohet, right, and mevashel cooking are generally permitted on Yom Tov because the freshly slaughtered meat and freshly cooked food is tastier than which is prepared a day before. Okay. So let's do this opinion one more time, and we're going to explain. So this is opinion of Rashi and Rambam. So Rashi and Rambam explain that it is forbidden to perform food preparatory melacha on Yom Tov if one could have achieved the same result doing melacha before the Yom Tov. So I think today it would apply to almost all of the dishes. That's my understanding. Unless like fresh salad, yes, of course it's better fresh. But otherwise, like if you prepare the meat stew or something like before, or soup, like what is going to happen? I mean, I don't think it's a big difference. It's like it would be worse on a third day or on a second day if it's going to stay in the refrigerator. I don't think so. Okay, but in olden days, we must understand when they did not have refrigerators. So of course, I mean, many types of food are going to spoil. That's it, right? So continue. Since there is no qualitative difference between the animal that is trapped before Yom Tov and the one trapped on Yom Tov, okay. So I'm not sure how they exactly they compare qualitative difference between animal trapped before Yom Tov and after on Yom Tov. The way I understand, they just trapped the animal and they do not do shechita, right? They would do shechita during the Yom Tov. So in this case, so that they would keep this trapped animal somewhere. Okay. So then there is no problem. They say there is no difference to the animal. Okay. Nor between grain that harvested before Yom Tov and that is harvested on Yom Tov. So it's only a few days difference. Like there is no difference whatsoever. Trapping and reaping are forbidden on Yom Tov. Okay. So especially these two melachas. On the other hand, melachas such as slaughtering. So slaughter, of course, the fresh meat is the best, right? And cooking are generally permitted on Yom Tov. So I mean, if you want to, I don't know what to cook, that you need fresh for lunch on Yom Tov, I don't know. Except to tell the truth, except salad, I don't know what else would be example today when we have like refrigerators. I don't know. The fresh because the freshly slaughtered meat and freshly cooked food is tastier than that which is prepared day before. Okay. If food can be cooked before Yom Tov without the risk of any loss in flavor, it may not be cooked on Yom Tov. So that's the rule according to the first opinion. So if you could have done it before Yom Tov, so right, so now don't leave it on a Yom Tov. And the simple explanation, as we said in a preface, or when we spent I don't know how many 3 or 4 classes on a preface, because it was so deep and so informative. So you're going to lose the sense of Yom Tov if you're going to do all of this cooking. Even if they are going to allow you to do all of the cooking, it's like half a day you're going to cook. Especially if you have family over, it's not only your family, somebody else's, your in-laws visiting, your parents visit, like too much, right? So I mean, too much cooking. So what kind of Yom Tov is it? Okay, so according to this opinion, if it would not spoil the taste or flavor, so you're not allowed to cook on Yom Tov this dish. As example of this is fruit. Okay, that's this is considered just as tasty when they are cooked a day in advance, or it's being freshly cooked. Okay, so we don't cook fruits, so it's hard to say. But if you cook fruits, they say that does not make a difference. You cooked yesterday, you cooked today, it doesn't matter. Okay. Okay, so continue. The origin of the rule, okay, of this rule. Rambam states that the distinction between melacha that can equally be done before Yom Tov and that which produces superior result when done on Yom Tov itself is rabbinic origin. There is all melachas related to the food preparation is permitted according to the biblical law, and it was the sages who prohibited performing certain food preparation, preparatory melachas, on Yom Tov. Rambam explained that the sages feared that many people would not enjoy Yom Tov, right, as we said, if they would be expressly occupied with excessively occupied with unnecessary food preparation. Therefore, they required us to do so before Yom Tov. For any melacha whose advanced performance would not affect the quality or freshness of the food. Okay, so basically the Rambam, and then we're going to go to Rashi. So said if you as we said before, you're not going to enjoy the Yom Tov, especially people eat more on Yom Tov, different dishes, special dishes on Yom Tov. Like for example, in Rosh Hashanah, if you look at your Siddur, and if you look at the book of our heritage, right? That's Rabbi Eliyahu Kitov. That's an amazing book. So it tells you all about Rosh Hashanah, what foods to eat, what blessing to eat, what to say because of the medical value of this food, or similar sounding to that food, like all of the blessing, right? So if you're going to cook, so my point is, if you're going to start cook all of the dishes like for each holiday, when are you going to enjoy the holiday? When are you exactly going to learn Torah? So all of the preparations, preferably, or right, must be do before the holidays. So one more time, Rambam's rule. So Rambam states that the distinction between melacha can be equally done before Yom Tov, and that which is produced the superior results when done on Yom Tov is itself a rabbinic origin. So basically, on the level of Torah, you can do anything you need for a food preparation. But they say no, if it's going to taste better, or only on Yom Tov, like as we said, fresh salad. Of course, I mean, if you chop lettuce like 3 days before that, it's not exactly an ideal situation, right? Okay, but all other foods you can do. There is all melacha related to the food's preparation, permissible according to biblical law, and it was the sages who prohibit performing certain food preparatory melachas on Yom Tov. So the sages, Torah says you can do whatever you need to for food preparation. Sages say no, that's too much, right? Why? Rambam explained that the sages fear that many people would not enjoy the Yom Tov if they would be excessively occupied with unnecessary food preparation. So just to prepare the food, like women spend like many hours, 10 hours, more hours, just cooking a few days. So if you leave it on Yom Tov, so when exactly she's going to relax, to celebrate, right? That's too much. Okay. Therefore, they required that us to do that before Yom Tov. But whatever, as we said before, whatever rabbis say, it's halacha. that doesn't make any difference. Biblical or rabbinical. I mean, of course, the rabbis, they have the power to instill these halachas, and they have a power in some cases to rule leniently in case of necessity. But only they can decide when these cases of necessity can be applied. Okay. So continue. Therefore, they required us to do before Yom Tov any melacha whose advanced performance should not affect the quality of the or the freshness of the food. So, if the quality is going to be the same, freshness is the same, don't do it on Yom Tov. Especially, I would say, especially in Israel when it's only one day. So, when exactly you're going to pray? Right, especially on Rosh Hashanah, just thinking about it. Right? In Rosh Hashanah, we have this machzor. So I always look at this machzor, and I never can believe it that we're going to finish the whole book. The whole book we're going to finish in 2 days. It's unbelievable, right? So when exactly you're going to have time to cook? Continue. Rashi does not comment explicitly on whether the distinction mentioned above is biblical or rabbinic origin. It is as a matter of dispute among the later authorities as to the Rashi's opinion in this regard. Most authorities hold that unlike Rambam, Rashi considered melacha that could have been performed before Yom Tov to be forbidden biblically on Yom Tov. Whoa. I mean, they agree that it's proper to prefer the on Yom Tov and plus, but Rashi, I think he is more stricter than Rambam, right? So he said if you did not do it before Yom Tov, and now because you're trying to save time, you try to work a little extra, a few hours extra, okay, you think you're smart, so now it's biblically forbidden on Yom Tov, according to Rashi. So that's a big deal. Okay. So, part number 2, section number 2, the criteria of Rosh and Ran. Rosh and Ran offer a different set of criteria for establishing which melachas are prohibited. In their view, the performance of any melacha that is usually done on a large scale, there is a preparatory food for several days at a time, is prohibited. Reaping, for example, is usually done for the entire field and is therefore prohibited on Yom Tov. Trapping is also commonly done on a large scale as a net that is spread out in water tends to capture many fish. On the other hand, melachas like cooking, which are normally done on a daily basis, are permitted. Okay, so let's go to the beginning and we explain this piece. Very interesting. So, the criteria of Rosh and Ran. So, Rosh and Ran offer a different set of criteria for establishing melachas that melachas are prohibited, meaning the trapping and reaping. In their view, the performance of any melacha that is usually done on a large scale, there is a preparatory food for several days at the time, right? Is prohibited. So reaping, for example, is usually done in entire. So you don't go to the field and reap only like few stalks, right? You do the whole field, half of the field, whatever you have time to do, right? You would spend the whole day, right? So it's for sure it's on a large scale, for sure, right? And therefore it's prohibited on Yom Tov, right? And same we're going to learn as and we learn in the laws of Shabbos, actually. I mean, like parallel law that you're not allowed to salt too many pieces of whatever you do, right? Why? Because it is resembling like salting, right? Salting and pickling, right? So when somebody pickles, a person does not pickle like two pickles, right? They do like, I don't know, 1 jar, 10 jars. I don't know how many jars they do in one time, but they're definitely not one. So when a person starts salting, like he has like cut cucumbers like in slices and start salting all of them, that's a problem. It's not allowed. So you have to do only as many as you're going to eat now. Right? So otherwise it's like on a big scale, and it would be forbidden. Trapping is also commonly done in a large scale. So I mean, in the trapping like fish, nobody's trap fish with fishing pole, right? They trap fish with the nets. As a net that is spread out in the water tends to capture many fish, right? So also on the large scales. On the other hand, melachos like cooking, which are normally done on a daily basis, are permitted. So cooking, especially in olden days, again, because they had no way to preserve the food. So you cook maybe for 1 day, for 2 days max. Otherwise, it's going to go bad. According to Rosh and Rambam, any melacha that is usually done on a large scale is prohibited even for the purpose of preparing small amount of food. Thus, it is forbidden to pick even a single fruit from a tree, since the picking fruit is a form of reaping, which is melacha that is usually done on a large scale. So let's read this paragraph again, and we're going to explain, which is very interesting. So one more time. According to Rosh and Rambam, any melacha that is usually done in a large scale is prohibited even for the purpose of preparing a small amount of food, right? So they draw the parallel. So if we're going to allow one, and we say no, this picking of fruits is allowed only if you pick for this meal, right? What is it for this meal? So you have 5 people, so you're going to pick 5 apples, and that's it. It would be allowed. So people would not understand. They would take things out of context, and they would say, yeah, everything is allowed. So since I'm off anyway, and some people who did not learn Torah, they actually for them the holiday is suffering, and especially 2 days in a row, it's suffering. They're very scared. They don't know what they're going to do, right? So a person might say, okay, I'm home anyway, so let me pick the apples, right? Not to waste time, right? So if we allow one, so the people will do more, right? And it's like harvesting. Thus, it is forbidden to pick even a single fruit from a tree, since picking a fruit is form of reaping, right? So reaping, we said, disconnecting something from the source of nourishment. That's classic definition. Which is melacha that usually done on a large scale. So it is done on a large scale. That's why it is forbidden, according to Rosh and Rambam, even on individual scale. Continue. This represents fundamental difference between the approach of Rashi and Rambam and that of Rosh and Rambam. So, of course, who is right? The first pair or the second pair, they're all giants, so we're going according to all of them. According to Rashi and Rambam, each individual action must be analyzed to determine whether it can be done with equal result before Yom Tov, right? Okay, let's finish it. We'll come back before the Yom Tov. According to Rosh and Rambam, however, the circumstances of each individual case are not significant factor. Rather, the critical factor is whether the melacha is in a category of those commonly done on a large scale or those commonly done on a small scale. So basically, just to have a big picture, I always like to have a big picture before going into details. So we're discussing why 2 melachas are forbidden of preparing food. What is the 2 melachas? Reaping and slaughtering. Right? Slaughtering, in this case, we get example of trapping. Right? Why is that? So you trap in order to slaughter. Otherwise, you don't trap just for fun. And it's actually forbidden for a Jew to make the animal suffer for no reason. Right? So in some parks where we live, they allow in a park, right? They allow you to fish, but you have to release. So it's catch and release policy. You cannot keep anything. So, but the fish, it's very good that you have a good time, but the fish suffers, so you're not allowed. So if you catch fish and you're going to cook it and eat it, there is no problem. It's there is no suffer. I mean, it suffers, but it's for constructive purpose. But just for a sport, it's never allowed. Never allowed to have to make animals suffer, right? Continue. So one second. So now, okay, so we try to summarize. So we have two different opinions, same two melachos, same two prohibitions, but totally different approach. So one more time. This represents fundamental difference between approach of Rashi and Rambam and that of Rosh and Ram. According to Rashi and Rambam, each individual action must be analyzed to determine whether it can be done with equal results before the Yom Tov. So Rashi and Rambam said, so if you could have done before Yom Tov and it's going to be exactly the same quality of food, so you must do it before Yom Tov. You would not be allowed to do it on the Yom Tov itself. And we said was it two examples that we gave for Rashi and Rambam. The first one is reaping grains, so it doesn't matter like if you did it today, yesterday, or a week ago, right? Why should we do it on holiday? And the second is trapping. So people don't trap for one like I don't know, for one meal, right? For one portion. No, you trap like fish. You trap a lot, or you trap animal. So if it's big animal, if it's deer or something, you're not going to eat the whole deer in one settings, right? So it's basically for a long time, right? Okay. A long time is not allowed. Why? Because again, we're going to back to the basics. We said that only what you need for you to eat on that day, so you're allowed to cook, but not on different days. Okay. So according to Rosh and Ran, so second opinion. However, the circumstances of each individual case are not significant factors. So in each individual case, so I mean, can you do it before it's going to be fresh or not fresh? Okay, that's Rosh and Ran said no, that's not the issue. The issue is rather the critical factor whether the melacha is category that are commonly done on a large scale, right? Like we saw the strap, commonly done or those commonly done on a small scale. So cooking, okay, like a small meal, some people cook only one day, and I know some people who do not eat leftover on second day. That's seriously, I mean, it's fresh, but it's beyond them. Very interesting. So continue. Actually, any questions before we continue? Let me see. Questions, or we continue? No problem. So we continue. This represents fundamental difference. No, I apologize, we did it. A further distinction. In some instances, the circumstances of the individual case are significant, even according to Rosh and Ran. Certain melachas are performed on a large scale in production of the certain foods, but are performed on a daily basis with other foods. One such example, melacha of sorting, which pertains to the separating impurities from food. Before the grain can be ground into flour, the dirt the dirt that adheres to it during the harvest must be removed. This act of sorting is done on a large scale. On the other hand, the act of skimming fat from the soup, there is impurity from food, is normally done on a small scale before each meal. For example, it is the melacha of grinding, which pertains both to grinding solid foods into powder from the chopping it into small bits. Okay. Grain is commonly ground into flour on a large scale, whether the vegetables are commonly diced for a salad in a small scale. let's stop here and try to understand what we just said. So it's further distinction. In some instances, circumstances of individual case are significant, even according to Rosh and Ran. So Rosh and Ran, as the one who they say, no, if it's done, usually done on a massive scale, right? That's forbidden even on an individual scale. But but we're going to see now it's not always the case, right? So certain melachos are performed on large scale in production certain foods, but performed on a daily basis for other foods. For some foods it's on a big scale, for others on a small scale. So you can do you cannot do like this other melachos. So it's not this, but other melachos, like generalized. One example of melacha of sorting, which pertains to separating impurities from food. So I don't remember, did we learn sorting? In a long time ago. So we learned melacha of sorting. So the definition of melacha of sorting is you separate what you don't want from what you want, right? And that is 100% forbidden on Shabbos, right? On Yom Tov, we're going to say it is allowed. Okay. So certain impurities. So meaning they take impurities from the food. So take food from impurities, there is no problem. And the most famous example is grapes, right? You have a cluster of grapes and you have few pieces of spoiled. Of course, if you take only good one, there is no problem whatsoever. You leave the bad one attached, no problem, right? But you're not allowed to remove the bad ones, the spoiled ones. Okay. Before the grain can be ground into flour, right? The dirt and that adheres to it during the harvest must be removed. So that's why you have this, what is it, a sieve or something, right? To sift the flour through, right? To separate it from impurities. Oh no! Actually, I apologize. This step even before that, it's separating grain from impurities. Okay, this is sorting is done on a large scale. So for sure, like nobody would do like a few kernels of grain, right? So only on a large scale. On the other hand, the act of skimming the fat from the soup, there is impurity from the food, is normally done on a small scale before each meal. So it's very interesting. So another example of separating bad from good. Bad is whatever you don't want to eat. It does not mean it's garbage or something like right. But something that you do not want is considered to be impurity, right? So this impurity of the fat on top of the so it's not healthy. If somebody cooks in this way, it's like a killer, right? So try to eat healthy without this fat on the top of this food, on this soup. That's not good. Okay, so but this is done only like when it says on a small scale before each meal. So if it's, let's say, if it's in a refrigerator and you have this fat on top, there is no problem whatsoever, right? But when you're going to warm up or you're going to, like, before you eat, yeah, you're going to remove this fat. That's a proper way to do, right? So on Shabbos, you would be allowed only to remove it only if you're going to remove it with the good stuff, right? Some soup together with this fat. But anyway, but we see that in some instances, separated this grain from impurity, it's only on a big scale, a commercial scale, and removing this fat from the soup, it's on a small scale. Another example of melacha is grinding, which pertains to both grinding solid foods into powdery form, and chopping in small bits. So grinded, the definition of grind, it's a classic definition. It's reducing the size of the food. So reducing the size of the food to the tiny pieces, right? It would be This what is it? Like grind into powder, like herbs or flour would be good examples, and plus also chop vegetables to the very small bits, right? So when we do salads, especially on Shabbos, on Yom Tov, it's more relaxed. But on Shabbos, we try not to do these pieces too small, like Israeli salad, right? Or onions, like don't chop onions like very fine, because it's a person can violate this melach of grinding. Continue. Grain is commonly ground into the flour on a large scale, so that's so they say it's you cannot say in general. It's also on a case by case basis. Whether the vegetable is commonly diced for a salad on a small scale, right? You don't prepare these diced vegetables for next 7 days. No, you do it only for one meal. With respect to the category to this category of melacha, the rule is according to Rosh and Rambam that they are prohibited when associated with large-scale food production, but are permitted on a small scale food production that is normally done on a daily basis. Okay, so let's do it again, and we're going to explain. With respect to this category of melachas, so meaning this category is meaning what? That it could be done on a large scale or in a small scale, right? So the rule is according to the Rosh and Rambam. Okay. Rosh and Rambam, that they are prohibited when associated with a large scale production. So meaning grind flour they would not allow us, right? But chop dice the vegetables for salad, no problem. But are permitted for small scale food production that is more normally done on a daily basis. So it's normally done on a daily basis are the keywords, right? And we're going to use them to determine what can we do and what we cannot do. The origin of this rule. Okay, Rosh and Rambam agree that the prohibition of food preparatory melachas are normally done on a large scale is rabbinic origin. However, they disagree concerning the reason that the rabbis imposed this rule. Rosh explained that melachas associated with large-scale food production were prohibited because they resemble weekly activities. Rambam implies that the rabbis were concerned that these melachas were permitted. I'm sorry, I missed one word. Sorry. If these melachas were permitted, people would do them in a usual manner and prepare enough food for the several days. This would be violation of biblical law, since it is prohibited biblically to do any melacha that is not provide benefit on Yom Tov itself. So that's how we started, right? So we said you can cook, you can do whatever you need, whatever the soul needs, right? Whatever each individual needs, but only for whatever is needed for that day. That's it. Okay, so let's do this piece again, and we're going to explain the origin of this rule. Rosh and Rambam agree that the prohibition of food preparatory melachas are normally done on a large scale is rabbinic origin. Okay, so Torah says you can do whatever you need. If you need, go and reap whatever you need grains for, and you trash it, you do, you grind, you do all the preparatory work, right? And then you bake it. So, but rabbis say no. If it's on a large scale, don't do it, right? However, they disagree concerning the reason that the rabbis imposed this rule. Okay, so they agree on in general on the fact, but the reason's different. Okay, Rosh explains that the melacha associated with large scale food preparation were prohibited because they resemble weekday activities, right? And that's as we said before, nobody is going to trash like few pounds of grain. No, they're going to do like a ton or some 2 tons. I don't know, a lot. So maybe in a few days they can finish the threshing, let's say, right? And that's an example of weekday activities, according to Rosh. Ran implies that the rabbis were concerned that these melachas were permitted. If they were permitted, people would do them in an unusual manner, So and we're going to learn some things that is on which there is disagreement of our poskim. So they would allow us to do, rabbis forbade, and rabbis would allow to do it in unusual manner, right? So in unusual manner, so it's not like Halachah is done. So if we allow people, so according to Ran, right? So if you allow people to do this melacha, they would do it with a shinoi. Shinoi is like unusual manner, what they call deviation, with deviation, right? And people would do it, like spend the whole holidays doing this instead of learning Torah. Usual manner, prepare enough food for several days, right? Which is absolutely wrong. This would be violation of biblical law, because it is forbidden biblically to do any melacha that will not provide benefit on Yom Tov itself. So very, very clear. So if it's not for Yom Tov itself, if it's not for this day, so it would be absolutely forbidden. Checking time quickly. 45. Okay, so let's try to do it. Okay, so part number 3, practical of Halachah. The poskim rule that ideally lechatchila. So lechatchila is ideally. So I usually translate to begin with, right? What is the proper? Ideally, maybe ideally is also a good word, right? The ideally lechatchila, one should abide by the stringencies arising from each view. Thus, the following rules apply. So, as we said, so this is 4 giants. So we will take all of the four opinions into consideration, and we will apply all of them. Okay. So A, any activities that involve melacha that can be done with an equal result before Yom Tov may not be done on Yom Tov. That's it. So whatever you could have done before Yom Tov may not be done on Yom Tov. So especially meat preparation, soups. I think soup is better on the second or third day. When it stays, the taste better, I think. That's my personal opinion. This is based on a view of Rashi and Rambam. Okay, so whatever is you could have done before the Yom Tov, you're not allowed to do on Yom Tov. B, any melacha that is normally done on a large scale, for example, reaping, may not be done even on a small scale. This is based on a view of Rosh and Ran. Okay, so if it's usually done on a big scale, right, as we said, reaping of the field, so you don't do it on a small scale. Okay, no problem. And C, any melacha that is commonly done on either large scale or a small scale, for example, sorting and grinding, may be done on a small scale, right? There is a prepare the quantity that are normally needed for 1 day use. That's it. So if it's done like on a big scale, on a small scale, but you need it only on a small scale, right, for 1 day use, no problem. But not on a large scale. Okay, this is too based on the view of Rosh and Ran. In short, okay, it is permitted. So that's I love his summaries. Okay, in short, it is permitted to do any melacha that is commonly done on a small scale, and only if melacha could not be done done with equal results before the Yom Tov. That's the bottom line. So if you could have done it before the Yom Tov because of the quality, right, would suffer, the flavor would suffer, let's say, right, and it's on small quantity, so you are allowed to do it on Yom Tov. As we said, the best example that I like is a salad, right? So of course you do it in a small quantity, and you cannot prepare before Yom Tov. I mean, on Erev Chag, on Erev holiday, on the day of the holiday, of course you have to prepare before that. There's no question about it. So continue. Melacha like sorting and grinding may be done only to prepare a quantity of food that is normally can consume in 1 day. So sorting, whatever we need to sort, separate bad from good, right? And grinding also only for 1 day. Exclusions. The rule that one may do the rule that one may not do on Yom Tov any melacha that could just as well be done before the Yom Tov pertains only if one actually had the opportunity to do it before Yom Tov. If the circumstance beyond one's control prevented him from preparing his food in advance on Yom Tov, for example, the food was not available, he may prepare it on Yom Tov, even though the same result could theoretically have been achieved before the Yom Tov. Okay, so let's see. Let's see this piece again. We're going to explain. The rule that one may not do on Yom Tov, the melacha that could just as well be done before Yom Tov, pertains only if one actually had the opportunity to do this before Yom Tov. So it means it's not like person put himself or she put herself in that situation. No, like they work. Sometimes people work till a few hours before the Yom Tov. That's not what we do. So usually, it's proper to have to take this day off completely. Or, for example, if man is working and wife is home and she's cooking, he's better not to be in the kitchen on her way, so he can work later. There's no problem, right? But if somebody is preparing, so don't put this in the situation. So you work the whole day, or not the whole day, like half a day, or more than half a day, and then you don't have time to prepare. That's not the circumstance. The circumstance may be beyond one's control. Maybe somebody was sick, he had to take care of this and that. That's the circumstance beyond somebody's control. So one more time, the circumstance beyond one's control prevented him from preparing his food in advance on Yom Tov. For example, the food was not available. Okay, so the food was not available. Okay, so they ordered a meat or something and it did not come. Okay. He may prepare it on Yom Tov, even though the same result could theoretically have been achieved before the Yom Tov, right? But it was not available. What can you do? Okay. Moreover, some poskim rule that if person was unable to perform this type of task before Yom Tov because he was extremely busy, he may perform it on Yom Tov. So one more time, moreover, the poskim rule that the person was unable to perform this task before the Yom Tov because he was extremely busy. I'm not sure, busy maybe with other mitzvahs or something, right? So he may do it on Yom Tov. So as we see, it's like exceptional situations. Continue. Finally, even if one could have done the melacha before the Yom Tov and purposely left it for Yom Tov, he is forbidden only to perform it on Yom Tov in a usual manner. He is permitted to perform it in unusual manner, utilize the shinoi. There is a variant methods of performance. The concept of shinoi will be clarified in the later chapters. So let's do it one more time. We explain. Finally, even if one could have done the melacha before the Yom Tov and purposely left it on Yom Tov. So, okay, person was lazy. So it's not like a person did not feel well or something like that. No. Purposely delayed it to Yom Tov. So he is forbidden only to perform melacha in the usual manner. So in usual manner, meaning in unusual manner, and we're going to learn what is unusual manner is, it is allowed. But it's very inconvenient, to say the least, to do it in unusual manner. He's permitted to perform it in unusual fashion, utilizing shinoi. So shinoi is not like deviation, right? This concept of shinoi will be clarified later. I think we can stop here. Let's see if we have 53 minutes. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions on any topic, please. Anyone? Okay, so we go to Daniel. Lose your chance. Okay, Daniel, go ahead, please. We left something from yesterday, right? We had a long question from yesterday. Go ahead.
Yes, Rabbi. Thank you very much. No, I actually have a question in regards to Yom Tov.
Okay.
It it was not something that was mentioned today. And the thing is, I don't know if what I'm about to ask is going to be covered by the book further on. So I don't know if I should make the question regardless.
Okay, go ahead. Ask.
Okay, so there's this sort of jobs that are permitted on Shabbos as long as the person is not getting paid as a concept for what the person did on Shabbos.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, if the person is like a tutor and he's tutoring like a kid, and throughout the week he's been tutoring him, and he's allowed to tutor him on Shabbos as well, as long as the payment he receives is not as a concept for the Shabbos, but for the whole tutoring itself. So, are these type of allowed jobs allowed on Yom Tov too?
Mm-hmm. So thank you very much. It's a good question. So let me just explain you the question. So the topic that our friend just mentioned is actually it's schar Shabbos. So we're not allowed to make money, money or profit or whatever profit. Profit is not only money. Profit could be that somebody owes you a favor, right? He's or she's going to give you some gifts. So it's also a profit. So you're not allowed to profit on Shabbos from labor. So of course we're talking about allowed labors, right? Allowed labor for that person. It could be Jew, could be not Jew. So that's example was about tutor. So let's say this person tutors this boy, right, 3 times a week, right? Let's say I don't know, Monday, Wednesday, and Shabbos, let's say, right? So he's being paid for a week on a weekly basis, and there is a concept of swallowing the weekly payment swallows Shabbos. So he's not being paid on Shabbos specifically; he's being paid on a weekly basis. So in some sense, you can say, let's say a person got for 3 days, let's say he got paid $100, right? So you can say that he got $50 on Wednesday and $50 on Monday, and Shabbos he did like free because he enjoyed his work, right? Or because he wants to keep his job. Right? Sometimes people stay overtime in the company that I used to work. Some people, like unfortunately, company took advantage of this. People who wanted to get the visa, right? That they needed visa to stay in the country. So these people they use it as slaves. They pay them very very little, but because they sponsor the visa, so they like not good. So these people were actually like working overtime. So I would come to work like on morning support. The people was there. I would like leave wherever I live and stay like overtime. They still there. It's like, but they were not paid for this extra time. But they were doing this because in order to keep their jobs, right? So same, you can apply same concept here. So this person is being paid for a week, let's say, and he said, okay, I'm going to come on Shabbos also. Can I come on Shabbos? Okay, it's for free. I mean, it's not for free. We don't specify that he's being paid. He's being paid for a weekly basis. That's it. That's not a problem. And the most famous example, I mean, and not famous, the best example would be on Rosh Hashanah, and on Rosh Hashanah is coming soon, right? So we have usually in shuls, and like rich shuls, they hire like a special person who can blow the shofar on Rosh Hashanah. So like he has to be like a trained person, knows like notes how to blow, even though they tell him what notes to blow, but he has to like have like a good training. Okay. So and many times they actually pay this person money. So he performs, I don't know how many minutes on Rosh Hashanah he works, but it makes no difference. So a person is being paid. So that's our question. On holiday, are you allowed to collect money for this blowing of the shofar? So they say yes, you're allowed, because you are training, right? So the person trained a month or 5 days, 2 weeks, whatever. He was training before Rosh Hashanah, right? He was practicing. So he was practicing. Now he just performing for free, but we paid him for practice. So for all of these days. So if you combine all these days for that he needed to prepare, and plus Rosh Hashanah, so that's you paying for preparation, right? And same for tutor. You also can say so. One payment is for swallowing, right? For swallow. So it's swallow like week salary swallows this Shabbos. Or second, if he needed to prepare, so he needed time to prepare for a class, right? So he needed 5 hours to prepare for 1 hour class, let's say. It's very possible. So we pay him for time of preparation. Okay, that's a good question. Did we cover it, or you meant something else?
Yes, Rabbi. Thank you very much.
Yes, that's how it's on holidays. It's much more applicable, especially on high holidays, than on Shabbos, for sure.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Yes, you're welcome. What else?
So, okay, I have a couple more questions. Let's start with the more practical ones. So, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says that one should not chop onions or garlics and leave them overnight and then eat them because it's bad for the person. Does that apply to other types of food, like I don't know, lemons, fruits in general? Or does it's only particularly to garlics and onions?
And plus eggs. So eggs we don't leave without shell. So, but what can you do? You can prepare them, right? If you onion, right? Let's say sometimes you don't need the whole onion, or sometimes you don't need the whole garlic, right? So you cut whatever you need, and leave the whatever without cleaning it, as it is. You understand? The same as eggs. Proper. So for example, you want to eat the eggs on Shabbos, so you should not clean the eggs before Shabbos, right? Only peel, not clean. Peel the eggs before Shabbos, right? So you do it on Shabbos, but above the garbage pail. That's how you peel the eggs. Why? Because the shell is a muktzah. You would not be able to move it. Okay, so that's it. So it's three. It's onions, garlic, and eggs. So, but if you prepare a salad, for example, you did egg salad, right? And you put mayos, you put salt, you put whatever onions, whatever you put in there. So there is no problem. We're talking about eggs, mamish, or garlic, right? So, and if you did something to garlic, I'm not sure what people do. If for example, people sell garlic, like peeled garlic, right? And if it's marinated, there is no problem. Do they sell like peeled garlic like fresh? I don't think so. No. Okay, so you don't peel it. You cut your onion in half, right? Like peel whatever you need. You use it for a salad, for you cook it, and leave the second one half unpeeled, and that's it. That's how it is allowed. No problem. Okay.
Yeah, I think I heard that this remaining half of the onion is forbidden for being used anyways, like regardless of.
No. Only if you peeled it. If you did not peel, this prohibition does not apply.
Also, I can leave it overnight. Nothing's gonna happen.
No, if you don't peel it. So you for example, you need only half. Today half. You use it for your salad, and you left the second half unpeeled for tomorrow or 2 days later. You're going to cook something else. That's the situation.
Oh, okay. I see.
So you cut it with a peel, right? You cut it with a peel, and then you peel it one half or whatever you need to use, and second you just leave as it is. Then there is no problem. So it's actually in a category of food that is that might endanger a person, right? So that's in this category.
So it's only onions, garlic, and eggs, nothing else.
Yes.
Only these three.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much, Rabbi. That was fine.
Yes.
Okay, so I got more questions, but I know if someone else has.
Okay, if somebody else has a question, please raise your hands. We're going to see. But okay, so go ahead with the question.
Thank you. So okay, another practical question is: are we allowed to let either the dishwasher or the washing machine? Are we allowed to let them run before Shabbos if we are 100% sure that we don't have any Jewish neighbors?
Okay, so the question. Okay, so let me first explain the question. So on Shabbos we have prohibition, same on Yom Tov, and we have a prohibition of sound. So you're not allowed to create sound. What does it mean to create sound? So the classic example that they give is from in olden days they have this water mills, right? So they would on a stream or something, and they would this, I don't know how to call all of these parts, but they're going to rotate and they're going to grind the grains. So and technically, right? So if you put a lot of grains, let's say 10 sacks. I don't know like capacity of these mills, but let's say you have 10 sacks, and it's like it can grind like over Shabbos, like and it's finished during the Shabbos, so it's like it would not go to waste. You understand? Maybe it's going to be overnight, maybe 5 hours, 3 hours, whatever is it, right? But since the millstone stuck together in order to grind, so they make sound, and this sound is problematic because people would think that the guy, the owner of the mill, is still there, and he's still actually doing the work. Right? That's why it's forbidden to make all of the noise on Shabbos. Right? So we're not allowed to ring the doorbell, for example. Kids are not allowed to make noise with like toys. So it's proper not to give them like after some age. It's proper not to give them the toys which make noise, even without not electric ones. Right? And right. So and how does it apply today? Right. So today it applies as follows. For example, if you the question is asked if I want just going to that example. So I have a dirty dishes, right? And I didn't have time to wash them on Friday. I have it from Thursday, even from Wednesday afternoon, right? So I have a lot of dishes. So they're dirty. So maybe if I'm going to start the cleaning cycle right now, of course it's going to go into the Shabbos, but I'm not doing anything. So when I press the start button, it was absolutely allowed. Did I do anything wrong? Absolutely not. Do I add something to the electricity or something when it's doing a job? Absolutely not. I put dishwasher, everything, all before Shabbos. So the question is, are you allowed to run it? And they say no. So why is no? Because people would see and suspect that you just turn it on. So it is called Maris Ayin. Maris Ayin, the way I see, right? So like if people see that you're doing something improper, so it's proper not to do it. So and actually many rabbinical prohibitions is actually based on this. You understand? So we would say if it's no Jewish neighbors, so technically it would be allowed, but I would say proper not to rely on this leniency. Why? Because you're going to get used to, and people who get used to with some leniencies, like from 10 years ago, they forgot that it was a leniency and it was allowed to them to do it this way because that circumstances from 10 years ago. Circumstances changed, but they did not change. You understand? So that's the issue. So if it's not absolutely necessary, even there is no Jewish neighbors, I would say don't do it, because it's not proper. So our rabbis say don't do it. Right? That's the thing. And plus, they actually said, and Rabbi Moshe Feinstein Zatzal said, not to have alarm clock. So on Shabbos, because people would say like that maybe you just set it up, right? But if it's obvious, it's only alarm clock, so everybody knows that everybody sets alarms. That would be allowed, but it's not so simple with all of this music. And plus, even like you're not allowed to use all of the things that that make noise. For example, somebody close to me, they say, I have a Shabbos bell. I say, I have a Shabbos bell. What is Shabbos bell? So they, instead of using like, what was it, the electric bell, they put this knocker on the door, not next to the door. So we said it's absolutely not allowed, because this utensil was made to create noise, to create sound, noise, doesn't matter. Understand? Not allowed. Same prohibition. Okay, what else?
Rabbi. No, that kind of led me to another question in relation to this. I have this wind-up clock. It's 100% mechanical. It's an alarm clock, but it's not electric. It's just mechanically. And I wind it up before Shabbos usually, but would that be problematic though, although it's completely mechanical?
To wind that on Shabbos, or what do you mean?
No, to use it as an
alarm
clock.
No, yeah. There is no problem, because it sounds like alarm clock, and everybody knows that it is possible to do it on. So everybody would set it up before Shabbos. But this dishwasher, it's not so obvious that that person set it up before Shabbos, or this laundry machine.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome. So it's very. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so let's get to the more deeper questions. This question is in regards to the right approach of speaking about gehinnom to people. So some time ago, I saw some people criticizing others on social media. They would openly comment against people and tell like, oh, this guy is gonna go to gehinnom, and this woman is gonna go to gehinnom, and this and that. I know, of course, that gehinnom is real. I know, of course, that people that don't do what they're supposed to, they're gonna go there. It's terrible. I mean, it's something horrible, and I don't desire anyone to go there. So, what would be the right approach? Should we desire that someone wicked goes there, or should we desire for that wicked person to do teshuvah? And talk to them about gehinnom in order for them to do teshuvah, but not desire them to go there, not wishing them to go to such a place.
So it's actually what the answer to the question. It's clearly in Gemara. So they say, so rabbis say, I wish this person to do teshuvah, or if he does not, so it's let him drop that, whatever comes first. So I wish him to do teshuvah. I want to help him. He's my brother. She's my sister. I want them to do teshuvah very much. But if they don't want, and they continue going against my Father in heaven, again, they continue to do this Hilchot Hashem, it's better them to die, right? But of course, I mean, for a person, usually like arrogant people would say that he's going to gehinnom, she's going, like, why would you say it so? So, like, it's not, this statement does not help a person, right? So what is there is the expression, nafkamina, what are you getting from that? What are you trying to achieve? So if you're trying to achieve others, to warn others, yeah, that's maybe you have to use a different language, right? But for that person, you're not helping. So people are very defensive. They get very defensive. They're not going to listen to you. You understand? So it's not proper to say that, but it's proper to give people information and let them get from a third party, wherever you send the link and they watch them and listen from someone else. Tell them and let them decide on their own, because if they don't want to change, whatever we say is not going to help. You understand? So that's the thing. So only a person who is ready to change, ready for whatever happened in their life, so ready for the next step, yeah, you can help them. Otherwise, you can only provide the information and see what happens. Okay, what else?
Rabbi. Yeah, I was just thinking, I could be wrong on this, but I mean, so far I haven't seen any prophet wishing anyone to go to gehinnom. I mean, the ones that describe, or the sages that describe gehinnom and the punishments in gehinnom, they just describe the whole thing, and they just make a detailed description of the person that is going to go there as a result of their actions. But they, as far as I know, they don't say I wish this person would go to gehinnom when I wish this or that. They just describe the whole situation, the whole scenario, but they don't desire anyone to go there. So,
yes. That's our way. We give a person information. We say you don't do good, and indirectly mention people who doing this and that, and plus whatever you do, of course, just mention. By the way, there is consequences. And you talk about consequences, and give them more information, right?
Yes. Yeah, I was just gonna say that if the sages that spoke about gehinnom, not even them wished anyone to go there, why would people these days would dare to do that? That's what I was thinking.
Exactly. So plus it says that all Jews are responsible for one another, right? So basically, this person is not performing according to what Hashem wants. So it's our fault as well. You understand? So if we would be more righteous, our family would be more righteous, other people around would be more righteous, maybe it would not enter this person's mind to act the way he acts or she acts. You understand? So in some sense, it's our responsibility, our fault, because we have a person like that. So in some sense, if he goes there, he said, okay, who else did not help you? Is whatever. Oh, this guy and that girl. So that's the problem. So that's why we don't wish them. We wish them to do teshuvah. And Hashem, if we consider the feelings, if you can say our Father, the Father does not want to kill anybody. He wants people to come back to Him. Right? What is His benefit? So if He would want to kill somebody, He would keep it there. But He wants the person to live, and He wants the person to fulfill His purpose in life, and that's why He sent him here, not to kill, but actually to live and perform the Torah.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're welcome.
One more questions. I don't know if I should.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so is being Inokshen Ishba a punishment for something the person did in a past life?
So the question is, so Tinok Haneshba is a translation, is a captured baby. So in olden days, it was not unusual when Gentiles they would capture a baby, small baby, from Jews, raise them and one of their own, train them, and the person did not know, and maybe when person grew up, somebody have mercy on him, said, actually you not belong to us, You see how different we are from you. So you're different. You know why? Because you're a Jew. So go back to your father. This is when we kidnapped you 20 years ago. So that person comes to his place, to his village, to his town, whenever he meets his parents, let's say. So he's Tinok Hanishba, meaning he did not, all of these years, all these 20 years, he did not know that he's a Jew. Right? And now, in some sense, he's not responsible, but on the other hand, he is responsible, where he has to bring the korban, at least one, for all of these averas that he did not do. For he did even unknowingly. So just because a person did unknowingly does not remove responsibility, because the deed was done, unknowingly or not unknowingly. Okay, so that's a classic example. So now some people, right, for commercial reasons, so it's because it's very profitable to say that everybody Tinok HaNishba, and they do not need to do anything except give us tzedakah. So what could be better than a commercial reason like that? You understand? So they put everybody in this category, like nobody. So, and Rambam gives the classic definition. What's the classic definition? So person was kidnapped, as we said. So he grew up in not Jewish home, or not religious home, right? It was not his fault, let's say, that he went into this family, right, as a baby. And he never heard about the Jewish people, right? And he never heard that Jewish people got the Torah, and he never saw the religious people in his life. So basically, it's possible. There is such cases are possible, right? So that's it. So that's person is Tinok HaNishba, but after he was released, like after he sees these religious people everywhere, he found out that he's a Jew, and the Jews received the Torah and Torah books of instructions. So now, in our day and age, he would say, I do not know. And who is he fooling? I'm not sure how exactly is going to fly. It's like a person is driving, and he said, no, I did not know that you're not supposed to drive on a red light. He said, but because I have a driver license from different countries. Who cares different countries? For example, you drive in the US, it's one set of road signs. You go into Europe or to Israel, there is different signs, set of road signs. So what does it mean? Just because it's different, you're not going to be responsible if you violate the traffic laws? Absolutely not. Nobody cares. So it was your responsibility. Right, to learn it, and same as here, it's your responsibility to find out. Hashem gave you the godly soul, right, and Hashem never put anybody for failure. Otherwise, he would be a vicious God. So, and we call him merciful God, meaning that even though this person grew up in an environment that maybe not the best Torah environment in the world, but he was given many opportunities during the life, right, to explore what the Torah is, what the Jewish people is, and he looks like he did not. And plus, these Jews that call themselves Kiruf, right? All of these clowns, right? So they say, no, you're Tinok HaNishba. So basically, you don't need to do anything. Just give it tzedakah. That's very, very wrong. What they do to people, and people say, yeah, I grew up like this, like that, and I do not know the Torah. If only I wish I have a Torah education, but sometimes I have some people like that. They know how to press my red buttons, but I would say you're such an executive in a top bank, right? You know, you're such a smart person. You did not know, but you did not know about many things. But when you want to be this top executive in this bank, so you find out how to do. Some people who write to me, and they sometimes they use their work email, right, or a work log. So I see for example, one guy wrote to me, and he's a owner, proprietor of a real estate company. I mean, it's his last name on this thing. right? And he said, I do not know, maybe this, maybe that. Stop it. You understand? So if you're doing all of the business, real estate business, so you have few brains. I'm not sure you're the biggest genius, but at least something. So you could have learned about the Torah as well. Understand? So that's so the question was, is it punishment for them? Of course it is. Maybe it's challenging. Is it punishment? Maybe it is a punishment in some sense. So when they were in a normal environment, in a Jewish environment, like a religious environment, they did not want to learn. They did not want to perform. They say, no, I'm going to do now when I realize what the Torah is. Even if you put me in the bottom of the sewer, I'm going to climb on top and I'm going to be Moshe Rabbeinu. I promise. So Hashem gave him a chance. So now you're in this anti-God family. So let's see what happens. So is it their responsibility? Yeah. That's how they ended previous life, always. So our beginning, like our basic tendencies, right? The tendency, it's not character traits, it's only tendencies, is actually how we will finish previous life. So if person is greedy, so he has tendency to greed. So means in a previous life, that's how he died. He died very greedy person. And same with all of the things. So same is. So the person was placed in this situation, in this family. Why? Because of previous things. But it does not change any of his obligation that he has to be a holy Jew. Does not change it. Okay. What else?
Thank you very much, Rabbi.
You're welcome. That's a good question. So I answered something similar. Baruch Hashem, one very famous speaker actually watched us, and I once wanted to find out a little more about him, so I watched his video a little. I skipped a little, but okay. So he watched our video and commented, and actually I comment like partially what I said, because I knew he did not know that I knew what he was, who he was, but I responded to him. So the problem is the teachers today. He said, no, if everybody would absorb Torah and this and that. No, I said the problem is the teachers. They teach wrongly, that it's optional. Okay, so go ahead, sorry, go ahead.
Rabbi, may I ask one last question?
Yes, go ahead.
Overtime.
Yeah, no, go ahead, last question.
Yeah. Okay, so in Mishnah 7, that says, the entire Bible says, distance yourself from a bad neighbor, do not associate with a wicked person, and do not despair of retribution. So in the part that says do not associate with a wicked person, Rob says that any association with the wicked is considered detrimental, even if one does not learn to imitate their actions. The exposure itself causes a negative influence to rub up, much as one who enters the house of a tanner and absorbs the foul odor. He takes nothing from the house. This is very interesting, but my question is, does this definition of a wicked person also include like immoral and promiscuous people such as homosexuals?
Of course.
And like any type of wicked person in general?
Yes, so wicked person according to the Torah. So an example that actually today is my Novi day. Wednesday is when we learn Novi. Baruch Hashem. So it was a story in it's a King's one of wicked King Achav, his wife Isabel. So and he wanted to go to fight Moab. No, not Moab. Aram. Apologize. He wanted to come Aram, and he actually, even though he lived and he ruled in a northern kingdom, he was in some kind of friendly relationship with a kingdom of Yehuda. And kingdom of Yehuda, Yehoshaphat, actually married the sister of this wicked Achav. So they're trying to make some alliance, right? And once, was it during the thresh or something? I think it was during the thresh, and somehow that's not from this week, but from previous weeks. And so Yehoshaphat came to Achav. So the Yehoshaphat was righteous king, righteous, son of Hashem. Achav was idol worshipper, bound to all of the idols. Whatever idols you say, he had it and he bowed. Right? So that's how, and he makes sure that everybody bows. And his wife was not Jew, and she bowed to Asherah's tree. So, and she brought this 400 minimum of the priests, right, of that did all of the Avodah Zarah with this Asherah tree and other things, right? So this wicked, and because of the sister, which is not good, to marry such a woman, if you know what your brother is, right? So this Achav, not Achav, Yehoshaphat came to Achav, and they talk, and Achav said, "Yeah, let's go to war. Let's go to war to Aramean, and they take over our town. It used to be Jewish place. Now they took over. I don't remember, like captured. When was it? Doesn't matter. So this Yehoshaphat, the righteous person, associate himself with the wicked person and goes to war. Not a good idea. Not a good. So sages say very bad things about Yehoshaphat, and later on he was punished for all of this. For what? For association with that person. So when we associate ourselves with these people, so we give them credence. You understand? So other people say, no, he's a good guy. How is he's wicked? No, you say that he's wicked, but this rabbi, this king actually, he came over, he hugged him, he kissed him, he gave him gifts, and he also went to the work. They started some enterprise together. So this wicked person gave money. Guess what? And that's why these prayers never get accepted. Many prayers do not get accepted because these shuls were like these fancy schmancy shuls. They were sponsored by the not Shomer Shabbos people who intermarried. You understand? So there is no blessing in this association. So, but some people, no, he's a Jewish soul, such a diamond. Every Jewish soul is a diamond, but work on this diamond, make him Shomer Shabbos, then take money. You understand? But they take money and continue to give these people compliments. The people stay wicked, and the money is dirty money, like made on Shabbos and through this from this wicked person. And guess what? There is a curse on this alliance. Huge buildings, nice, but there is no people. There is no people. There is no minyan. There is like when we used to travel a lot, Baruch Hashem. So sometimes I need the minyan. So I call this place. So on Shabbos, so on Shabbos was very nice. Havdalah, not too many people on Mincha Mariv. So I said, what time is tomorrow? Well, what time is Sunday? No, Sunday is. I said, what do you mean? Like 50 people on Shabbos? On Sunday is no. So they were not on that level. Yeah, you understand? So people on Shabbos they would come on other days not on that level. Have huge buildings. So what is the purpose? What is the purpose to have this building? Like for one minyan a week, for 1 day a week. That's it. You understand? So that's there is no blessing when you associate with these people. Okay.
Thank you, Rabbi. So, rather than associating ourselves with this type of people, is it problematic like just hanging out with them, like someone that is I don't know, promiscuous, or someone that is, like I said, a homosexual, like not associating with them, but just hanging out with them, is that problematic in regards to?
As you just said. So even if you go to tannery, so you have I don't know, you have your father working in there, right? So you brought him lunch. So you're not working in there. So you brought him lunch. What is it? 2 minutes. You're out, and you already smell with the smell. That's it. That's it. So that's association with these people. First of all, in as one issue, as we just said, you in other people's eyes, yeah, they associate with you. Maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it's not forbidden to be homosexual. Who said? It's you said. But you know this great rabbi, this tough rabbi. He was smiling. He's hugging, hugging him and stuff like that. Maybe not kiss. I hope not kiss, but even hug. Yeah. You understand? So we try to stay away from these people. We try to help them. They're still our brothers. They're still our sisters. We try to help, but no association. We keep the distance, and that's the reason why we don't associate ourselves with different organizations or speakers. So, for example, our lectures, like on this channel, the different channels. So we had the opportunity. Have connection even from one of the students, so they say if you want I can talk to them, so they said administration they can put your lectures there, but I look who else is there. Many people kosher, but some people very questionable. So I don't want to be on that platform because they like me, for example, my student, and they would associate that person because I'm there and he's there, so maybe he's also kosher. No, I don't want to kosher. You understand? So that's the thing.
Thank you very much, Rabbi. That was
You're
great.
welcome. Yeah, so we try to help them, but we keep the distance. And Yehoshaphat, he paid very great price for being nice, right? Okay, what else? Any other questions from anybody else, or we stop here? All right, no problem. So we stop here. So tomorrow is our kosher kitchen day. Please join us, same time. Thank you very much and good night.